Hello and welcome to the LMA Book Club. This video is going to be an unboxing video and a little bit of a book haul in celebration of my first payment from this channel. So a few months ago, my channel qualified for the criteria that you need to apply for monetization. And so I did that. And so now I get a little bit of money for making these videos that I, am making anyways. And so that's a nice bonus. It's not my primary goal with this channel, but it's nice to, get a little something for your efforts. Then a few months later, you have to fill out some stuff, and it took me a while to reach the point of an actual payment. The qualification for monetization is one thing, and then you have to reach a certain amount to actually get the money to your account. I finally reached that, and that sort of happened to coincide with me browsing on a website to find a particular book, and I saw that they had a sale, some books that were discounted, and they were very cheap, and that doesn't really happen a lot. I don't usually see books at those prices. Books in English, paperbacks, that they were selling for $4, some of them, or $7, in that sort of range. Yeah, I've never seen that before. So I decided to look through everything that they had. And I also decided to kind of get stuff that I didn't know about, that I wouldn't pay full price for if I saw them in the store maybe, but that I would be curious to try, just to expand my reading horizons a little bit. Yeah, just try new genres and new kinds of stories. A lot of them I hadn't heard about before. Some I have maybe heard about the author, but not that particular book, and stuff like that. And I think I have a pretty good mix in here. I managed to get a lot of books because they were so cheap. And I also managed to get the book that I was actually looking to get. Since I live in Sweden, the selection of books in English at the library is sort of limited. There are a lot of books, and so I'm very grateful for that. And I do use my library, and I do, buy books at full price in the bookstores as well. But yeah, I figured it was too good of a deal not to try some books that I wouldn't be able to get otherwise. They should all be paperbacks, and I'm hoping that they are the bigger paperbacks and not the small pocket size. Shopping online in Swedish bookstores, you kind of just never know. There are different words for the different sizes, but they don't always put the measurements, and so I've been burned before, and thinking I'm getting a certain size and then it's completely different. With all of that rambling, here is my box of books that arrived in the mail, and so let's open it up. Oops, I hope I didn't scratch anything. I'm just gonna do this flap with the address on it. Okay, I don't know how to do this. They look pretty neatly packaged. Okay, so, oh my goodness, they're packed very well. So at the top here, we have the correct size that I wanted. And this is Red Sight by Meredith Mooring. And this is a book that I have never heard of before, but it sounded interesting to me. Also, some of these books fulfill certain prompts on the HRCYED 3.0 challenge, and so that's not the primary reason I got any of them, but that factored into my decision making. First of all, there's a big snake on the cover, and it also has the color red in the title. This follows a woman called Corinna, and she is a red seer who is working for the Imperium. She is a blind priestess with the power to manipulate space-time, but she is the weakest in her order, useless and outcast, or so she has been raised to believe. And then there is a notorious pirate called Aster, who has a vendetta against the Imperium and an all-consuming dark power that drives her to destroy everything in her path. And then Corinna is on this ship, and the ship is attacked by this pirate person, Aster, and brought aboard, and her life is ripped apart. But they somehow find some common ground, I guess. And then there's also a justice-seeking warrior, Sahar, who is hot on Corinna's heels, and Corinna must choose her side, seize her power, and fulfill her destiny. It says it's a collision between epic space opera and bewitching cosmic horror. There are a lot of components to this one that I think sound interesting, like on their own, and it's also an interesting mix. The print is quite small, but like just flipping through it, it appears to be multiple POV. I'm seeing a lot of like fantastical words, like words that are not of this world, and so I'm excited to give this a try and see how I like it. I've never heard about this anywhere else, so if you have read it or know anything about it, you know, if it's good, please let me know in the comments. If it's bad, like, don't tell me, just let me live in my fantasy bubble for a bit. Next is a book that looks kind of dirty. I'm not sure if that's part of the design or what. I don't think so. I'm not really sure why they decide to put the sticker on the cover, but hopefully I can like get this off. Okay, I just need to get the glue off. They don't usually put like the stickers on the front cover, so that's a bit weird, but luckily it was easy to get off. And this book is The Two Doctors Gorski by Isaac Fellman. This one would fit the numerical titles prompt on HRCYED because it has the word 2 in it, and my only other option that I had was Two Twisted Crowns by Rachel Gillig, and I'm not really like super excited about that one. And this is really short and it sounded interesting to me, so I decided to pick this one up. It says, an academic gut punch and a superb blend of the devastatingly familiar and exquisitely fantastical. A dazzling exploration of reclaiming personal power in the aftermath of abuse. And we follow a brilliant graduate student in psychiatric magic and survivor of academic abuse who can't stop reading people's minds. This is how she protects herself, by using her abilities to know exactly how her colleagues view her. When she moves to England to rebuild her life and finish her studies under the seminal magician Marek Gorski, infamous for bringing to life a homunculus made from his unwanted better self, she sees inside his head a man who is both a destructive force to everyone around him and her mirror image. This also sounds like a mix of different things, with the like magic and the science, the psychology, the mind reading, and like the academic setting, but not like in a, you know, young adult dark academia kind of a way. And so yeah, there were just several things about this that spoke to me and intrigued me. And yeah, I'm excited to give this one a go. The book itself is kind of dirty, so I'm not really sure how to feel about that, but at least it was cheap. Next one also has a sticker on the front, so let me get rid of that. So this is Unraveling by Karen Lord, and let me remind myself what this one was about. This one is also a mix of different things, a genre blend of fantasy and crime. It says, the search for a notorious serial killer takes a therapist on a nightmarish quest to an alternate world to find the sinister secret behind his crimes in this dark fantasy inspired by Caribbean urban myth. So we follow Dr. Miranda, who works as a forensic therapist, helping traumatized witnesses recover their memories so that they can testify about the crimes they observed. Her most famous case resulted in the conviction of the serial killer known as the Butcher of the City. And then one day Miranda is seized by one of the spirits known as the Undying and transported to a fantastical dreamlike world, where she has to help catch the rogue Undying who was the true mastermind behind the Butcher's crimes. So we're in this like surreal other world with labyrinths, and we also step into like the maze of Miranda's own memories in her original investigation. I've never read anything like it that I can remember, but it sounds like something that I might enjoy. Karen Lord seems to be from Barbados, and I don't think I've ever read anything from a Barbadian author, so that's also good. Okay, next we have a book that I think is a Greek mythology retelling, and it's a little bit chunkier. This is Seeds by Angie Paxton. This is a retelling of the story of Persephone and Hades, and Persephone and Demeter, her mother. And this, where is it? I also have Fruit of the Dead by Rachel Lyon, which is a retelling of the same story in a modern setting, but I haven't like read the original, and I haven't read this one either, but like, I haven't read the story in a, you know, mythology setting either. So yeah, I was excited to find this. I think the cover is quite cool as well, like a black illustration on a black background. I'm excited about this one. Okay, the next one looks like a bigger size, which is interesting. This is Where the Axe is Buried by Ray Naylor, who I have heard good things about. I think that's the author of the, you know, the one with the octopus, The Mountain in the Sea, and also The Tusks of Extinction. This one has a really large print, which looks really nice to read. In the authoritarian federation, there is a plot to assassinate the president, a man who has downloaded his mind to a succession of new bodies to maintain his grip on power. Doesn't that sound absolutely horrifying? Meanwhile, on the fringes of a Western Europe that has renounced human governance for AI prime ministers, an experimental artificial mind is threatening to set off a chain of events that may spell the end of the Western world. As the Federation and the West both start to crumble, Lilia, a brilliant scientist, goes on the run, trying to break out from a web of Federation surveillance. Her fate becomes bound up with a global group of people united in the fight to put humanity's future back into its own hands. Well, that sounds very timely with authoritarian presidents who are trying to, you know, keep the power by all means necessary, with the mix of AI. And yeah, that just sounds very intriguing. I hope I like it. Next, we have Within the Heart of Wicked Creatures by Rima Ori. I think this one was an author from the Netherlands, I want to say. And yeah, I think this is a young adult fantasy book, and it sounded really good. Born during the blood moon and cursed with a dangerous ability to manipulate other people's souls, Priya has to hide her power or face death. But when Priya wins a place to attend the country's elite military academy in Kuwata, her curse is revealed to be a gift and everything changes. With a centuries-old war still raging and strange dangers lurking, Priya must decide how much she's willing to sacrifice for her people and her country. What if the darkest curse was your greatest power? So the author is Dutch, and this story is apparently about the history of Suriname, which used to be a Dutch colony. Which I didn't know, but apparently that's like the main language there. So yeah, I'm guessing I'm gonna learn some new things from this, even though like this is fantasy and it is young adult. But yeah, I'm intrigued to see where the story goes and if I end up on a deep dive about the history of Suriname. Next, we have a book called Daughter of the Merciful Deep by Leslie Penelope. This could also work for a few HRCYED prompts. It has the word daughter in the title, and also the last name of the author is a first name. This is, I think, also set in a state of some kind in the US, so it could also work for the road trip prompt. There's a map of this town. Jane Edwards hasn't spoken since she was 11 years old, when armed riders expelled her family and every other black resident from their hometown. Now, 12 years later, she's found a haven in the all-black town of Avonasa, but the construction of a dam threatens to wash her home under the waters of the new lake. Jane will do anything to save the community that sheltered her. Her quest will take her to a sunken world of capricious gods and unsung myths, of salvation and dreams made real. But the floodwaters are rising, and in order to save her home, Jane will have to find her voice again to finally face the trauma of the past. A mesmerizing tale that deftly blends history and magic. That sounds really good. Okay. Next, I have a book that I think is nonfiction. about the Ottoman Empire. And this one also fits the HRCYED prompts to read books with gold in the title, either for the color, like the rainbow one, or the periodic elements prompt. And yeah, this is The Golden Throne by Christopher Belaige. Wolf Hall for the Ottoman Empire, history at its most gripping. Istanbul, 1538. The greatest of the Ottoman sultans is at the pinnacle of world power, while his family and future are at the mercy of dynastic law. Whichever of his 5 sons succeeds him must eventually kill all the others, so why not get a head start? I'm not really sure what to expect. The print is big, so that's something. It's about 210 pages, and yeah, like I said, the print is quite large and there are some illustrations here and there. It seems easy enough to read, which I like, and hopefully it's an intriguing story, like a good narrative. And I don't know a lot at all about the Ottoman Empire, so I'm excited to learn some new things about that, hopefully in a fun way. Oh, I forgot about this one. This one is very pretty. This is One of Our Kind by Nicola Yoon. I'm seeing now that it says this is horror. Let me see. I think this book has received some critique, but I also saw reviews saying very positive things. So I'm excited to read it and see what I think for myself. This is an author that I have heard good things about and like recognized the name, but I've never read anything from them. It says she grew up in Jamaica and Brooklyn and lives in Los Angeles with her husband and their daughter. This one also seems to be a little bit mixed media. There are some, I don't know, text messages and things, not a lot, but a little bit of that, and some like excerpts of things. It says, when Jasmine and King Williams moved their family to the planned Black utopia of Liberty, California, they hope to find a place where their growing family can thrive. King settles in at once, embracing the Liberty ethos, including the Lux Wellness Center at the top of the hill. But Jasmine struggles to find her place. She expected to meet like-minded liberals and social justice activists, but Liberty residents seem more focused on booking spa treatments and ignoring the world's troubles. Jasmine's only friends in the community are equally frustrated by Liberty's outlook, a frustration that turns to dread when their loved ones start embracing the Liberty way of life. As Jasmine learns more about her new neighborhood, she discovers a terrible secret, one that threatens to destroy her world in ways she could never have imagined. It says it's a terrifying and provocative look at what it means to truly be free in America. So I think this one looks at race and specifically Black people and sort of in this town that they're in. They're expecting it to be a certain way, and then there are still people who don't have the same mindset, and I think that's where some of the controversy lies. I think it said like it was a bad representation of Black people, but like, I don't know, people are people, and people are gonna enjoy their freedoms in different ways. And so yeah, I'm just excited to read this one and see what I think for myself. Yeah, I'm hoping it's a good story and a good take on just like ethics and social issues, and yeah, I'm just intrigued. And this one also has the word one in the title, so it would also work for the numerical title prompt on HRCYED. Okay, the next one is also, no, it's a smaller size. I don't know what kind of size this one is. This one is some kind of an in-between size, not that it matters to you probably. This is Club Contango by Elion Bowie. Sorry if I'm saying that completely wrong. The cover caught my eye with this like 20s look, but it doesn't look 20s at the same time. It says it's science fiction with both a brain and a heart, so that sounds good. It says the author is a writer of a speculative fiction with different stories, and there's a novella duology called Other Minds, and then this is her only, I'm guessing, novel, and she lives and writes in Singapore. It's the twilight of the 21st century, and perpetual failure Connie Lamb is barely scraping by as a low-level contractor on a distant asteroid station called Freeport, a retro-futuristic cosmopolis known for its glitzy nightlife and glamorous wealth. But behind the fizzy cocktails and shiny gold veneer, a revolution is brewing. Trapped between two worlds, Connie must find new ways to stay afloat financially and concoct new schemes to avoid deportation. But when her former business partner is found dead, coin becomes the least of her concerns. Now she's hustling to save her life. Yeah, this one sounds very interesting. I'm not typically like super interested in sort of space stuff, but I don't know, the mix of like this like glamorous fizzy cocktails world, and she's trying to get by, and then she has to like fight for her life. Ooh, maybe this could also work for the buzzword prompt of like clubs and groups and clubs. I don't know what that refers to, but it says club, so maybe that could work. And then I only have 2 books left in here, I think. The next one also has a big sticker on it, so let me get that off. So this one definitely caught my eye because of the cover. This is The Meadows by Stephanie Oakes. This one is a little bit chunkier. It's 428 pages. The print looks kind of like the line spacing is pretty big. I'm not sure if this is young adult. It might be. Everyone hopes for a letter to attend the estuary, the glades, the meadows. These are the special places where only the best and brightest go to burn even brighter. When Eleanor is accepted at the meadows, it means escape from her hard scrabble life by the sea, in a country ravaged by climate disaster. But despite its luminous facilities, endless fields, and pretty things, the meadows keeps dark secrets. Its purpose is to reform students, to condition them against their attractions, to show them that one way of life is the only way to survive. And maybe Eleanor would believe them, except then she meets Rose. An incisive examination of the quiet violence of conversion therapies and revolutionary power of self-love. I think this one had a pretty high average rating, so I'm looking forward to this one. And yeah, I'm excited about this find. Oh no! The final one is the book that I meant to purchase, and that is Hemlock and Silver by T. Kingfisher. I just noticed that it has these sprayed edges. Ugh. What's happening? I don't particularly like sprayed edges on paperbacks. On hardbacks, I can live with them, but they're like sprayed edges is not my... That's never going to be a reason for me to buy one book over another. Like, I would much prefer it to not have sprayed edges. I just feel like it's unnecessary, like, chemicals for me to breathe in. I'm not sure why there's color on there. This one also looks weirdly... They stick together. You see? Like, what is this? Ugh. Why is it making this much noise? That's not supposed to happen. Okay. Well, anyways, I'm excited to read this, like, as a physical copy. I've tried the audiobook and I like the premise, and like, you know, it's a sort of new take on Sleeping Beauty, I guess. There's a poison person, what's she called? She works with poisons, and then she's like summoned by the king to come and save someone. And I haven't really been like paying attention because the like tone of voice on the audiobook is kind of like a bit snarky. I don't know how to explain it. And maybe like that's the tone of voice in the book as well, but I feel like if I can read it, it will just stick better in my brain. Again, I'm not super excited about the red edges. Maybe I'll just take some sandpaper and just like or I will be really careful when I read this, and then I can maybe resell it. All the other ones were on sale, but this one I paid full price for. And yeah, I don't know. I'm annoyed by these like sticky edges. Like, what is this? Can you see that? They're like sticking together. Like, it's so unnecessary. We don't need this. We don't need this. I will say the front cover is very pretty. It looks nice on like a picture, but like seeing it in person, it looks even nicer. I'm happy about that, at least. And there is fruit on the cover, and this one also has the word silver in it, so it works for the HRCYED prompts, the silver color in the rainbow prompt, and also the periodic elements. I'm looking forward to reading this, and yeah. A bit of an anticlimactic end to this unboxing, but that's what happens sometimes, and hopefully I like the story. Like, what is happening? So anyways, here's my final stack. All in all, I got 12 books, which is fantastic for that amount of money. And yeah, I'm really happy with all of my choices, and most of the physical copies. Like, why is there red? I don't know. Okay, I'm gonna stop complaining. And I'm excited to have some more options for some of the HRCYED prompts, and I'm not gonna let, you know, reading challenges dictate what I read or not. But like when I find something like this one that I maybe wouldn't have picked up if it wasn't for HRCYED, and now I'm really excited, except for the fact that it's dirty, but maybe I can like wipe it off. But yeah, most of them are in perfect condition, and some of them are really new releases, and I'm excited to get all of these. I think I might need a little bit of a reorganization of my bookshelves soon, because yeah, I've been buying a lot of books and they're kind of all over the place. So let me know if that's something that you would like to see and follow along as I reorganize my shelves, and maybe I will make a video of that. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you're having a fantastic day, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.